Sav'aaq. If you keep up to date with popular zonai vehicle builds in Tears of the Kingdom, then you've probably heard of the Hoverbike 3.0 by now, or as I call it, the mini plane. I made a video about it a little while back, so you might want to check that out if you haven't seen it. Should be linked up here in the corner, or if your device doesn't support those cards, then just find it on my channel. But first, you might want to continue watching this video, because a recent update to the game has affected your ability to make this build. But fear not, for this video has a solution. To build the mini plane, there is one crucial component that you need besides the usual 3 components of a hoverbike build. Besides the steering stick and 2 fans, you also need an elevator rail, a unique item that, due to some dodgy physics, gives the vehicle more control and seems to make it a bit more stable too. I have a video all about the elevator rail, so check that out if you're not familiar or if you want to know how to get it. Again, there's a link in the corner, or just go to my channel. The other unique aspect of the rail was that you could detach it from an auto-built structure without it despawning, which meant that if you had enough zonai, you could just make as many as you want, just build anything with the infinite rails basically. Auto-built a word? Should be auto-builded? No, that can't be right. Hey, Steven, is it auto-built or auto-builded? Made with auto-build. Got it. It's no Steven. That's just looking off screen. It's just a blank wall there. But Nintendo has put a spanner in the works when they released an update to the game on the 24th of August. The update made it so that you can no longer detach the rail from an auto-build. It now despawns like other parts do. So can you still build the Hoverbike 3.0? Yes, and I'll tell you how, but only if you give me a sub first. Have you clicked subscribe? Have you really? I'll just take your word for it. Firstly, if you've already built the mini plane before and saved it to your auto-build favorites, then there's no problem. You can just auto-build it. The rail can still appear in auto-built structures, you just can't detach it without it despawning. If it's not saved but you have built it recently, check to see if it's still in your auto-build history. If so, make sure to save it before it's gone. Problem solved. The actual problem arises when you want to build it from scratch. You can still do this, but you can no longer easily access the rail by auto-building it. However, you can still head to the right leg depot in the depths and get yourself some rails. Thankfully, they didn't take away the ability to detach them from the elevator, and also its weird lightweight properties haven't been altered either. If you don't want to trek all that way every time you want to build something with the rail, just place a travel medallion down there so it's easy to get back. If you don't have any travel medallions, I have a handy video about how to get them. Click that link, or again, find it on my channel. The tricky part is that you have to build the mini plane down in the depths, which could be a bit awkward with that limited space that you've got in that little room, so it's a bit difficult to do test flights, but if you build it correctly, then it should fly just fine. Head somewhere you can test it out, summon it into existence with auto build, and then if all is good, save it to favorites so you never have to build it from scratch again. Having to start from scratch yet again would be a bit annoying, so if you want to build it correctly, follow my tutorial. It's in the corner, it's on my channel, blah blah blah. But if it doesn't quite fly correctly, then I'm afraid the only option is to go back down into the depths and try again. If you place the travel medallion down there, then that does make a difference. It makes it a lot quicker to get down there, but you're still going to have to pull the rail off the elevator again. However, you shouldn't necessarily have to build the entire vehicle from scratch again. If you followed my building tutorial for the mini plane, then you'll already know this trick, but you can use your recent auto build history to quickly build parts that you've already built before. For instance, in this case, you can just quickly create the front section without having to line things back up again. Of course, if it's the front section that's not quite aligned right, then you'll still have to build that from scratch. But if the front section isn't the problem, you can very easily get that back together. It helps. You can spend a long time getting that just right. And then if it's the back fan that's not quite aligned, then you don't want to have to redo that. There's one last way to build the Hoverbike 3.0 from scratch without having to go back down into the depths to get more elevator rails. Just don't download the update. Obviously, that's if you haven't done it already. Thankfully, I'm a procrastinator, so every time this notification comes up, I click Start Software instead of Update every single time. So I can still summon railings at will to build whatever I want. I know I'll install the update eventually, but in the meantime, I try and take advantage of my railing freedom to make some creations that you can only really build with more than 4 rails at a time, and then save them to auto-build and keep them forever. And if you're in the same position as me, where you haven't done the update yet, then I'd recommend doing the same. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Do subscribe. I think it's that corner of the screen. You can actually click my little subscribe button there. It's really easy. Sav'aaq.